Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. Now, when it comes to Ubisoft's gaming franchises, there certainly are a ton that could make for an interesting crossover. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Beyond Good and Evil. There's tons of characters and story threads from them that could make for an interesting crossover if you essentially had them all in one series. And that's what this one attempts to do, but it ultimately fails when it comes to its execution, having a good first half with plenty of flashy action and some fun characters that prove to be pretty one-dimensional once you get to the second half that feels like it not only gives us a disappointing resolution, but it tries to go for a sequel bait ending that it really doesn't even earn here, but it thinks it does. Let's get to the story, shall we? The story revolves around Dolph Laserhawk, isn't that a fun name, who is basically trying to topple the Eden Corporation, which has turned the entire world into basically a Blade Runner like dystopia, where Rayman basically runs all the TV shows, where there's public executions to anyone who opposes Eden's reign, and where there's a Suicide Squad like prison called Supermax, which Dolph Laserhawk ends up in when he attempts to go for a big heist. Now, with a bomb near his brain, he has to work with a bunch of other oddballs to essentially help out this warden who might be connected to Sam Fisher. So yeah, the whole series is basically a big crossover of every big Ubisoft game you know of, with a tone that seems reminiscent of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, hence why it's part of the title. But outside of Pagan Min appearing as one of the antagonists in the series, it doesn't have much of a connection to Far Cry, especially considering it has a frog who's part of the Assassin Brotherhood. It has Jade and Paige working together as part of the Supermax Suicide Squad, known as the Ghosts. And even Marcus Holloway from Watch Dogs 2 makes an appearance as a wise old mentor type. On paper, this seems like it'll be a pretty interesting kind of series, especially with Adi Shankar, the producer of the Castlevania animated series, on board. But while the series is visually interesting and certainly has a lot of cool moments with the animation when they're not just still frames, the story here really falls apart after episode 3. The series tries to tackle a lot of themes that seem kind of topical in the political scheme, such as relations between hybrids and humans, which is like relations between races, and also when it comes to big corporations that take over countries and basically have no soul. It tries to do a bunch of stuff with that, but like with some of the Ubisoft games, it does nothing with those themes. And it feels like it was more a series approved by committee as opposed to one that had a cohesive creative vision, which it tries to make up for that with a lot of Adi Shankar's big interests, which he also used for his Guardians of Justice series. But at the same time, it feels like these characters never really develop past their one note characterizations that are funny at first, but don't really have anything to offer afterwards. Not to mention, the ending of the series feels like it's not only rushed, but it feels like it's really there to set up a sequel bait. And since the characters aren't particularly interesting and the story isn't that particularly memorable, despite the fun violence and some colorful visuals, it feels like this will be a one and done affair. So yeah, as much as I love Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and as much as this tries to be trashy fun in the same way, it ends up as plain trash. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. See you next time.